go button, and there you go. You'll have plenty of listings there to go through to show you that there are plenty of patents out there in the public domain that are related to weather modification. So we have that to contend with. Is this movie just some random concept that somebody came up with? Or is it something that is happening and they're just getting us used to the idea? Just getting us used to it because they can't shock the American people. We had that study that we read about, 6 or 8 months ago, where Harvard was going to start doing geoengineering tests to see if they could modify the weather. And that was in mainstream news. So they're slowly dribbling this stuff out so the rest of us can get used to the idea and we're not shocking the citizenry as a whole. All right, folks, we're going to take a quick break as we're running up against another one here. When we return, we're going to do our last segment here on the first hour of the John LeBang Show. Be right back. Where do you think you're going?
The John LeBang Show will be right back.
So grab a beer and a smoke and sit your butt back down. Stay right here.
Powerful, epic music by Toot Box Roll. Life-changing lyrics come in every style, empowering humanity to finally unlock the chains of bondage. Experience the edgy side of positive music and rock your world today. From Primal to Divine, available now at sassyalternativemusic.com.
If you want to contact the John LeBang Show, feel free to send an email to jlebang@live.com. And if you're on Twitter, look him up at John LeBang. And don't forget to go to his Facebook page at The John LeBang Show.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back as we're in the final segment here in the first hour. Step away a little bit from the news cycle and to get into something that I had observed earlier in the week. I was in a paint store earlier in the week, and this couple had come in, obviously not married. We'll get to that, why I could tell they weren't married. And they had 2 children with them. And the kids were just running rampant, and the mother was doing her thing, looking through little paint charts and everything. And the gentleman tried to stop the children from being a menace in this paint store. And the lady gave him the look one time, and then the second time, which was quite shocking that she did this in public, she's like, and I'm going to paraphrase this because I don't know if I have the exact words, but it was to the effect of, my kids come first, and you're not their father. Love that. I have to tell you, I've heard that more than once in my day. At least a similar thing. And we see it out there, and it's a lot of times it's single moms that have this attitude. And these single moms, a lot of them are single because they left the father for whatever reason, whether he was cheating or whatever. I mean, if there's abuse and stuff, you got to leave for the children's sake. But a lot of times it's over cheating, or they weren't happy over whatever they perceived to be unhappy about, and they leave, which does not put the child first by any means, because putting a child through a divorce or a split up or keeping the kid from dad, which dad needs to be an integral part of a child's development, and as long as the dad's not some kind of criminal, or he didn't commit crime and that's why she's not with him, or he wasn't abusing her or the children, and it was just something like cheating or, I don't know all these scenarios, but as long as there's not a life-threatening or physically threatening situation, and the woman decides to leave, she made that choice for herself because she was unhappy for whatever reason. And she's putting her children not first in that, because if she would have put them first, she would have found a way to stick it out until they were at least old enough to where they could handle it. Because coming from a broken home, I know that it is very difficult on the children when mom and dad split up and they've got to be passed around back and forth. And I know that's the common theme for this day and age, that there are a lot of single mothers out there that just chose to leave their husbands or the fathers of their children. And what gets me out of all this is they expect alimony and child support, which, sure, I understand that. But a great deal of these people, instead of going to work, because most of them were stay-at-home type moms, they didn't work, they took care of the kids at home, they weren't happy, whatever. Instead of going to find a job, they go on the government funding. So all they do is replace the boyfriend or the husband, the baby daddy, for the government. They just, replace them. We don't need you. We can run to Uncle Sam because Uncle Sam's going to give me money because all I have to do is claim that I'm some kind of victim. And even though I'm a victim through my own accord, whatever that might be, and I have to, I understand that cheating's not a good thing. In fact, when I was married, I had to live through the cheating thing. And I didn't have kids, and I still tried to figure it out, try to make it work it out. Because marriage is supposed to be something sacred, and you better for worse. That's what you get married for. And when somebody is cheating, that's on the for worse side, and you try to work that out somehow. You try to make it not happen. At least for the kids. When the kids are gone, when the kids are old enough to understand and move on, and it's not crucial for their development, then I can see maybe the idea of leaving, separating, breaking up. But by that time, you're 18, 20 years into it. You might as well stay for the Social Security at that point, don't you think, ladies? But they choose to go on their own, which is not really going on their own because they just run to the government. And I'm not saying all ladies do that, because some actually have work and some had legitimate reasons for leaving that were for the betterment of the family structure. Dad was a crook. Dad was an abusive father. Dad was beating up mom. Those are completely legitimate reasons to leave. And although many women who are listening today, and I know I might offend a lot of women out there, cheating may be legitimate to you, him going around on you. And guys, this is the same for you, because if your wife's cheating on you and you decide to leave and break up the family, this also falls into your category, although I will admit most of the time when men leave due to cheating, they're still stuck with the alimony and they can't go on the government dole. Most of them. But then you replace the husband or the boyfriend or the dad, and you probably still get child support and alimony. If you don't get child support, that's between you and the dad, and you find a way to get that out of them. But you don't go to the government. The government doesn't become the daddy of the kid, and that's what I'm getting at. It's made it so easy to go, okay, he cheated on me, I'm leaving. I'm taking the kids, I'm leaving here. I can just go on the government dole. And it then puts it on, then you get a guy who sees a girl and she's supposedly single, although she's, just divorced or separated or whatever. And then he doesn't have a say in the kid's development at all, because to the mom, that guy isn't as worth as much as the kids to her. Sure, I understand that. I get it. But the kids weren't worth it enough to stick it out for the family's sake. So when I hear a mother, a single mom, who probably left her husband for cheating or some minor reason, maybe he couldn't perform in the bedroom or something really, non-life-threatening, non-physically threatening. When I hear them going, my children come first, I just want to stick up and say, you lying piece of crap. Your children only come first when it's not you who is the center of it all. When it's you at the center, your children didn't come first. You took off. You moved on. You got, you bought. And see, this is the this is it gets me with all the people that run to the government for things. Because you look at them, a lot of people are smoking. Well, the government don't pay for your cigarettes, but they'll pay for your food, so you'll keep smoking. You'll use your money, wherever you get it, to smoke, but you can't pay for your own food. You're going to make some other person, which is where the government has to get the money from, your neighbor, your friend, your colleague, whoever it might be. They have to get money from somebody to give to you for the food. But you can smoke cigarettes. You can go out and get tattoos. You can still get your perm. Still can do your hair. Still can have your makeup. Still pick up that perfume. Still get the meaningless or mindless little things that you need, little trinkets or whatever. But you can't afford your food. But you can't afford your housing. But you can't afford this and you can't afford that. But you can afford these other things. That's another thing I have with these programs. If you're on these things, these should be temporary. You get it for a year. Just like unemployment. Even less than unemployment, if you ask me, because at least unemployment, the people have to work for that to accumulate in the unemployment system. The money has to accumulate there, and that's only based on the person's work. You work and your company goes, okay, you work so many hours, we got to pay so much to unemployment for him or her. We want to get all that right, him or her. Anything beyond that, even though it might, according to California, it might be some kind of discrimination. And remember, we talked about this when Canada passed the law, picking, if you say the wrong gender, even though there's man and woman, and you call a guy in a dress who wears lipsticks and he had boob implants, you call him a man, that's wrong. You could go to jail in Canada, maybe. Well, looks like California is trying to pass the same kind of law, the same kind of thing, which is incredible. It's already infected this country. When we've talked about genetics many times before on this, and where the word comes from, where gender comes from genetics and genitals. All those words are related. So if you have a schmeckle swinging, doesn't matter you have boob implants. When you were born, if you had a schmeckle swinging, you're a boy. And if you cut them off, that's your thing. Well, it ain't your thing anymore. In fact, you don't have a thing anymore. How I got onto this when we were talking about mothers and all that, I have no idea. You know how the John LeBang Show goes. We just roll with it and we talk about whatever comes to mind. But it looks like we're running it up against the end of the show, folks. Normally I do the big, and that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Well, that is it, ladies and gentlemen. We're at the end of the broadcast for this first hour. I'd like to thank all of our affiliate stations across the globe. Don't forget to go to our website. That's www.jlebang.com. Don't forget, in the second hour, we're having the world-famous comedian Paul Farah joining us for an hour of mayhem. Don't you dare miss it. And with that being said, folks, I want to thank you, the listener, and tell you this. Until the vibrations of my vocal cords reach your ears again, this is John LeBang, signing off from the Banger Studios.
Tune in again next week.
See you next hour.
Same time, same space, same station.
resistance is futile.